It's time for the Totally Awesome Fishing Show again. This time we're going to be telling you about a technique called the method feeder. A little gizmo gadget that is highly successful, especially for catching, well, carp, but for lots of other species as well. Let's get down the lake. I've got Mike in tow with me. Is he going to catch anything? Let's find out.
So just going to run you through the tackle I'm using, guys. I'm using a 11-foot quiver tip rod, which is 1¼ pound test curve, so super light test curve. There's no need to cast very far here. Small, about a 2000 sized reel, well 2500 sized reel, very old reel, one of Dad's specials. That's loaded with 6-pound line. Now the chosen feeder today for me is the method feeder. Highly efficient feeder, it's very, very good. It's known in the UK and around the world for catching hundreds and hundreds of fish. Okay, so the way that this feeder works is there's my 6-pound main line from the fishing rod coming all the way down through this little sleeve here, goes directly through the feeder, and on the end here, if I just get it out for you, is a swivel. Just a big eye swivel there, it's just the one I had at the time, but this is just a swivel, only a small swivel. And again, I've just snipped off a piece of that main line, about 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches hook length there, and that is still 6-pound main line. At the end, the business end, a barbless, because it's barbless here, barbless size 12 hook. Now, the way this rig works is I'm using as a hook bait small, probably about 8 to 10 mil pellets. I'll put them here so you can see. They're just hard pellets. And what I do is I get a small bait band, little rubber band, and that goes around the hook like this, just sits on the hook. And then I use the pellet, pinch it round that elastic band. It can be quite fiddly, you can get tools to do it for you. And there you go, simple as that. The hook is now, if I lie that down, through the rubber band and through the pellet. Okay, and that's just my way of doing it. There's loads of different ways, there's rigs you can buy, but that's my way of doing it. So that all tucks up then, I pull the swivel and I just gently put the swivel in there so that it's basically like a bolt effect. It's a safe rig. As the carp takes the bait here, bang, pulls out and it's sliding and it's a running rig. Okay, this is the part where the feeder comes in handy. What I've got here is 4 mil pellets, which I use scratching pellets because you can kind of get them in bulk. And I just dampen these with water and that helps bind them together. They're a bit dry at the moment, but if you see if I can squeeze them, they'll bind together like that. That's basically how it works on the feeder. Okay, so I put my hook bait in first like that, making sure that the hook's sitting okay. I'm not going to bury it. Then I pour some of the pellets in, hopefully not too many. Some will fall out. Then turning this around, this feeder, just place it on top like that. Gently squeeze it in there. Then you turn it up the other way, hold the sleeve bit there, the rubber sleeve, peel it back, and there is my hook bait sitting on top of the feed, those pellets that are now squished around it. So that will cast out, hit the deck, and it's a flatbed feeder, so it hits the deck like that, the lake bed. This all then breaks up, and the carp peck away at this, yum 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 yum. Then they eventually get the hook like that, and obviously pull it, and you're onto a fish. So just a little tip, guys, when you're putting water to these pellets, you don't want to overfill it with water because they'll just go really soggy and gluey and they won't stick properly to your feeder. In fact, they'll stick too much and then they'll never break down from the feeder. So what I tend to do is, when I put the pellets in dry, I'll just get a scoop of lake water in my hand and just add it a bit sparingly like that, wash it around a bit. Then if I feel it's a bit too dry and it's not sticking together, it's still crumbly as I squeeze it, I'll add a little bit more water like this, wash it around, and eventually you'll get a consistency where you can squeeze it together. It will stick together, but you can still see the pellets around it and it's not a load of mush. Just a little tip, guys, to help keep your bait working for you. You can also put additives in this. There's loads of different additives out there. You can soak additives in it if you want, but do you know what, guys? We don't here at Totally Awesome. We've just fished it as the pellets are, and the carp absolutely love them. Well, guys, we're at Midday here. Scorching hot temperatures, about 28 degrees here at Watmore Farm. 100 odd anglers here, loads of anglers, which is great to see loads of guys out fishing. However, I put on my lucky cap and I'm into a fish. Now I just need to net it.
Getting a few over on the other side in the match, aren't they?
Yeah, they've been here a few hours, these guys, so they've baited up pretty well. And they're match fishermen, so they know what they're doing. But hopefully Sorry if it's a bit windy in the mic, guys. I know it's breezy. It's just picked up, but it's been really dead. It's that time of day, generally around lunchtime, peak temperatures, the carp just always go off the feed. You're better off sort of holding back till
sleeping.
About 4 o'clock. Yeah, about 4 o'clock onwards is usually, that's the best carp fishing we've had, isn't it? About
Yeah,
4.
yeah, and Andy the bailiff, you know, the owner said first thing in the morning, and then they shut down midday, which is what it is now, 1 o'clock. Except for this one.
Look at the bend in that.
It's digging now.
I love the old quiver tips. It's just the bend. Look at it. There we go. I have to admit, they do scrap well here.
Yeah, they come in and
even the small fish really do go. You can see the method feeder, 25 gram method feeder, just sitting there real nicely. Well, there we go. Like I say, they scrap really well for their size. Pound for pound, these fish are really good scrappers. Nice scale markings on the top there, and actually really nice colours on this fish. But it's nice to know, we've seen a few fish rises out there now. It's nice to know the fish are getting back on the feed.
Okay, so what I've been doing is casting out, clipping the line out as far as I can cast with the feeder and the quiver tip rod, and I'm using the pellet feeder. I've had a couple of bumps, but I've got a feeling it's so deep here, it's about 12-14 foot deep, and the fish I see on the surface, so I figure I'm either taking them down with the feed to the bottom, but then why am I not getting bites, and why are they staying at the top, which means again they're not perhaps taking the feed. So I've gone, while Mike's still fishing on the feeder, I've gone to the pellet wagler, but I haven't got a pellet wagler. I've got something called a splash'em, whatever that is, but it's got its own integral weight there, so it's self-cocking to there, and you can add, by the looks of it, to number 8 to take it right down to there. I've got it attached bottom end only. I've got a small barrel swivel there, about a BB shot there, 6 pound line, real line here, 6 pound there, about 5 feet, which I can then shorten. I may well shorten it, and I'm using just a plain single pellet there with a latex band, barbless hook. I put the hook through the latex band. I'll show you I've done it like that so you know exactly. So just nick the hook through there, and you can get those little tools that actually open it up, but these are bigger bands, are for ham-fisted people like me. I can work with that band like that. I say I'm just going to try something different. When it's hot, bright, middle of the day, you're not getting bites, you're looking around, there's 16 guys, not one rod bent. It's time to think of a change, isn't it? And that's what I'm doing. Well, people might think it's a bit peculiar if they've noticed the $41 million question is, hang on, who's quiver tip? And he's casting now a float rod with a quiver tip section. Well, why not indeed? It's still a rod. I don't want to change just the sake, because I can switch from this way. I can switch back to the feeder. And don't forget, I've got a feeder on the inside, which I have been getting bites on in shallower water, but little tweaky bites. I think perhaps they're roach, but given the heat of the day, and we're all around here sitting frying our brains out catching nothing, I feel in a couple of hours time something's going to happen. And what I'm using these, I've got a mix of two. This big mistake here, guys, because we were feeder fishing, I got 2 and 4 mil pellets, those Skrettings pellets, just regular coarse fish ones, in the same bucket. May have mentioned this before. It's fine if you're feeder fishing, great. When you damp them down, it's not so good if you want to loose feed them. I'll tell you for why. You take a handful and you're going to get a mix of different ones in there. What will happen, because you've got 2 and 4 mil pellets there, they're both different weights, so you'll think that you're spraying all your loose feed over the right area, and in fact you're really baiting up 2 areas, neither of which might be the right spot. So split them into a tub of 2 and a tub of 4, or whatever size. Don't mix them up when you're loose feeding like this. I'll show you for why, because they will make 2 different splatter patterns out in the water. You should be able to see a splatter pattern, I'm going to call it, of heavier pellets out further near the float, and the weaker ones, the smaller ones, die off in the wind and come inside. Let's see if you can see this. Two different areas. There you go. On the inside is a small pellet, and the outside is a big pellet. So my tip is, if you're loose feeding, make sure you use the same size all the time. Guys, even I'm in shock. I was putting my feeder rod out down close here and left the pellet waggler out there. I thought, was that a bite? Next thing I know, it bobbed again. I've just grabbed it, knocked the other rod off the rest, and there you go. Was that change, assuming I had the success of catching this fish, was that change worth it or not? I don't think I've seen in the last 15-20 minutes another fish caught around the lake. Just that little subtle change, and as you can see by the bend in the rod, it is a quiver tip rod being used for float fishing. I love it, me. Ooh, almost a bonefish. Oh, he came off. What can I say? We're on camera. Can I say or not? But at least I hooked the fish. And most of you anglers out there probably know what's going through my stomach at the moment. I'm thinking, why did he go out twice and rip all that line off so fast? Has he got a weird, freaky hook hold and it's about to ping off? And there's no doubt about it. You've got to think positive. If you start getting those negative vibes about hooks pinging out, oh, it's going to ping out. Got that feeling now, actually. Then the other thing is, do you pull hard to make sure you hold the hook in? Or because you're worried, do you actually take a little bit more, oh, that's a nice fish, yeah, a little bit more time and risk the hook? Oh, they start all that again. No, stop it, stop it, stop it. Very naughty, she's going to let our man swim. He's going 2 swims. Stop. It's always difficult trying to tell people how hard to play fish. Sometimes when you're confident you've got a good hook hold, you can really lay the pressure on. You still need to have that drag set just in case he lunges. A lot of people like to fish with a preset drag. Personally, I like to screw around with it a little bit, up and down, as that situation, until you see the size of the fish, does dictate. I'm looking at it. No, I think it's a mirror. Pretty fish, looks like a pretty one. Come in, come in, come in, come in. Come on, number 59. Success in every packet. Oh,
Well, that's a good fish.
Oh, I say, that's not bad.
Nice.
Let's get it up on the mat.
I put my finger in that mouth.
There we go, hook falls out. There you can see that little latex.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, lovely big fish. Nice looking mirror carp.
That's slimy.
It is indeed slimy. There we go. Nice looking fish, and I feel a bonus fish in the heat of the day by fishing on the top. And who knows, these kids are going to start fishing. Are they fishing?
They are, yeah.
They are indeed. Are they catching?
Yeah.
Good show.
Are you in the competition?
I wish I was with this, but no, I'm not. Well, come round here, girls, get a picture, and you can be on the top of the fish. You come by the side. Can you help me lift it up, can you?
It's a bit slippery.
Oh, yeah. Get in there, ready? I'll take the weight of it.
Tight of it.
Get in.
You smiling?
There we go, get those kids out fishing. Better still, get them throwing the bait in for you.
Well, I mean, it's been about probably an hour since my last fish. Dad's had quite a few actually now on that wagler. So what I noticed is he's obviously not casting it as far because there's not as much weight to it as these feeders. I'm probably about 20 yards beyond him. But this here at Watmore, there's a big drop off and it's a deep lake. It goes up to, I don't know what it goes, what does it go up to?
16 feet or something
16
like that?
feet. And he was getting them only about 15 yards out. So what I did is I'm using the same method feeder, same pellets, everything, same hook bait. All I've done is just not cast as far, brought it in about 20 yards, and I've missed a bite straight away, and then I've just had this one before I've even baited my previous rod up. And he's off, and the only horrible thing is this reel has no line on it. A certain Mr. Pullen Senior
I've had it 4 years.
has had it 4 years, and I can see the black
The spool.
spool behind the line. So I'm praying to God that this fish actually comes in without stripping line off. It's always eventful here at TAOUTDOORS.
There's always something happens.
There's no smooth fishing that goes on, it's just absolute carnage. My other rod's down here in the water. Probably a bit bigger than my last one, but similar size. It's certainly got a bit of energy left, I'd say.
Because while Mike's playing this on this blazing hot day, one of the things he's going to regret tomorrow is this.
Sunburnt feet.
No sun oil on the feet.
Yeah, they are going to burn actually.
They will burn.
Sort that out. Right.
There he is.
But generally fish do not fare well out of the water in heat, so I've got him there in the net. I'm just going to release him straight in the net, this one. Similar size to the previous fish, and that method feed is definitely working. I reckon they're coming on the bite now. Look at the sun on it there, lovely. Away he goes. Well, I just caught one right in the margins, literally about, you can't call it a rod length, I'd say an arm length out down here. I've seen them feeding right down close by. I've spooked them a couple of times, but this time I just dropped the method feeder right down there. Didn't even change the rig, didn't change the setup, just dropped it down there, and I'm actually into a fish. So I was quite surprised that that worked. But it's getting that time of evening now where the carp keep coming close.
He peeled a bit of drag too, didn't he, early on?
He's still going, yeah, he's still got a bit of energy. It's a mirror. But this time of afternoon, when the whistle's just gone for the match to finish, so we're at about 3:30, and that's when the carp come in closer because all the match people chuck their bait in right in the margins, and that's when all the fish come in close. And that's when we put our bait in.
Yeah, it's nice. Looks like a mirror?
Mirror, yeah. Quite a dark one.
But they're on that method feeder now, yeah?
Yeah, they're like those pellets, soft pellets. There we go, that's a better fish for me. Fourth fish of the day, and I got this literally an arm's length out, guys. An arm's length out, a human arm's length, and it was an absolute screaming take. The quiver tip just whips round, and what a fantastic fish. Sorry about the airplane in the background, but bit of a shoulder on that, you can see the head on it. Good powerful fish, nice tail. We'll get it back, it's right on bite time now, so get these fish back and hopefully catch some more before we go.
Oh, this was the most peculiar bite on the float. I couldn't let Mike thrash me totally with that method feeder, although it is absolutely deadly. As are all methods, even the pellet wagler. In an expert's hands, obviously not in my hands, but I've got a fish hooked up here. I'll be very surprised if it's not foul hooked, and you can tell this by the way it's absolutely powering everywhere. And the float went down and I struck, but the rod didn't connect until way back, so there's probably several fish around, and it's just, I feel sure, I hope we sort of get it in so that I can tell you can actually recognise. There you go. There you go. It wouldn't surprise me if I came in with a scale on that hook, because each fish fights differently, each species, but also, you know, when you lose a fish or you get something that doesn't act right. No, I've got it all back. 99% sure that was just maybe nicked in an outside scale. I've got everything back there though. Oh, that means Mike's still in the lead though. Oh, I don't like that.
And Mike stayed in the lead, yeah, with another fish. I wonder how much those method feeders cost. So there you can see, fishing on the surface with that pellet wagler works, but the method feeder on the bottom, on the lake bed, works even better. Great technique, and we've got another different type of method feeder coming through to show you soon. So keep watching the Totally Awesome Fishing Show for more tips, techniques, and sometimes wacko baits.